I get to. Welcome to Rising Tides Live. I'm your host, Shawn Walchef. This is a Cali BBQ Media production. Mother's Day hospitality. Mother's Day is coming. Welcome to the Rising Tides live call. We do this every Wednesday, every Friday, live streaming with digital hospitality leaders from all over the globe. Thank you for watching. We're live streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are in the world. We want you to be a part of the show. If you're a storyteller, if you're a restaurateur, if you're a technology enthusiast, you're our people. We've been doing this for 4 years now. We've got an incredible community. This community will be meeting in real life in Chicago at the National Restaurant Show. If you're going to the show, please send me a message on Instagram at Shawn P. Walchef. I will tell you where the meetups are every single day. First day on Saturday, we're kicking off at the F3 booth from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. So that's Saturday, May 17th, the day one of the restaurant show. We want to meet you in real life, in person. Today, we're talking about Mother's Day hospitality. Obviously, Mother's Day is coming up. We have our dear friend, G, who is the founder of KidsMenu.com. G, welcome back to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. A pleasure to be here.
Can you take 60 seconds and let the community know who you are and what are you building?
Yes. So we launched KidsMenus.com this January. It's a platform that allows hospitality venues to easily log in and create activity and coloring placemats for kids of different ages. Is something new and different from what you see out there, from menus, from the fact that you can download as many as you want and give kids options, to also being able to tailor it more for different age groups, so nobody gets bored and they don't see the same kids menu for 6 years, which we have seen that happen.
Well, thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and get into today's topic, Mother's Day. What is Mother's Day hospitality? What does it mean to you? Can you share a story?
Well, Mother's Day's hospitality is, it almost starts at home because it's the day that you are kind of being a host to your mom in a way. As much as you can, you try to make her not do the usual things that she handles, which are a million things. So, we at home usually it's receiving her with something in bed, usually handling breakfast, usually handling meals, usually handling kids, or at least playing a bigger role in that than a usual day, and planning a day that will be fun for her and hopefully unforgettable to her and the family, and that should start with a smile and end with a smile.
Absolutely. And I just want to give a shout out to all the moms that are watching this, that are a part of our community. We appreciate you. Obviously, shout out to my wife, Rositza. She's the mom, Walchef Wolfpack, my mom. We are grateful for all of the work that you do. It shouldn't just be one day that we celebrate you. It should be every day. But this does give us the opportunity to practice that gratitude and to pay attention to all of the million things that moms do. Let's go ahead and bring up some of the community. Thank you guys for waiting in the green room. We want to hear your stories, your shout outs about Mother's Day and hospitality. Let's go ahead and Chris Tripoli, kick us off. Who are you? What are you building? And share a story about Mother's Day hospitality.
Happy to. Good to see everybody again. Thanks for having me. I'm Chris Tripoli, the Restaurant Clinic. What we're doing is building models for small growing restaurants to help them succeed. A lot of that is on the leadership development side. Some of it's with operations assistants. What I'm doing, I guess, specifically right now is I'm readying myself for a busy NRA show as well. I'll be there and I'll be busy doing some presentations. If you guys want to, please join me as we talk about funding the dream. That's going to be in the South Building, room 505 on Monday at 11 a.m. My presentation.
Chris, are you part of are you on Instagram, Chris?
I am.
Are you in our digital hospitality Instagram group chat?
I am not.
There is a specific question. I will add you to the group chat. There is a specific question. It's specifically on funding your dream. So if you can join that group chat, and that goes for anybody that's watching, listening. We have group chat on basically on any platform. So many platforms, but we're all creators. We're all storytellers. We support each other. If you want to join that Instagram Slack channel, we also have a LinkedIn channel. But Chris, I will tag you, add you to that. Send me a message on Instagram so I don't forget. And
I will do that. I will do that. That'll be fun. And hopefully we'll meet up there because we're.
Oh, we will for sure.
I'm also doing in the Discovery Theater on 3:30 that day. I'm hosting a network discussion on innovative startups, concept process. And so that's going to be fun. So
great.
It's going to be a busy show. And I will definitely look forward to connecting folks there. But I love today's topic because Mother's Day hospitality, I think, is an important principle that maybe we could actually use for other important days where we're tempted to get off track. By tempted to get off track, I mean many restaurants see these as extremely busy days. So we are tempted to do things other than our standard concept because we know we're going to be getting extra people. So we say, God, for Mother's Day, I really should add of this, add of that. It should be more expensive. I'm going to do a buffet. And the good news is it might work for that day. The not so good news is you're not really representing your concept to these extra throngs of people, many of which might be there for the first time. Some of these mothers are guests because they're being brought there by the family, and maybe they haven't been to your place beforehand. So I always caution people to, whether it's Mother's Day, Easter, any of these other days, don't think of it as a short-term feeding the masses. How much can I make? Think of it as a way of really showing gratitude to your base and doing what you typically do well. So a lot of these first timers get a positive first impression. I think that's lesson number one I wanted to share. And then lesson number two is one I always had fun with in my restaurants, and hopefully restaurant operators listening will do this too. Salute the mothers that are your staff members.
Yeah.
Some of these hard workers that are going to be in the kitchen serving other mothers, are they themselves mothers? A lot of your servers are going to be working, a 10-hour shift serving 1,000 people because your restaurant's busy, and they themselves are mothers. So make sure you find something special, surprise gifts or something, so that when they leave, they get a cool little Mother's Day token of your appreciation. They'll enjoy it, and I think it's important to do.
I love it. Thank you, Chris. And just a reminder, we can only have 10 people on StreamYard. So we have people that are trying to get in. If you're trying to get in, give us some time. We're going to get through as many shares as possible. Maybe people can jump on stage and jump off stage. We're learning the new platform. It's not like Clubhouse where we could have 40 people, 50, 60, 100 people. But if you're waiting, thank you for waiting. We will get you up on stage as soon as we get as many people to share as possible. Elizabeth Doss, one of our digital hospitality leaders, go for it. 60 seconds. Who are you? What are you building? And share a story about Mother's Day. And G, you're co-hosting with me, so feel free to jump in and share at any point. Counterpoint. You pick the next person after Elizabeth. How about that? Let's go.
Awesome. Hi, all. Elizabeth Doss here. I have been missing you guys, but for good reasons, getting stuff done. But I'm so glad to be back with you all. My name is Elizabeth Doss. I am a social media consultant, but I am also an illustrator animator. I create animated GIFs for brands and businesses to leverage in the comments section on all social media, and as well as gift stickers on Instagram, stickers, TikToks, etc. If you're interested in having your own branded GIFs for you to add to your content, or for your team to be able to use with pre-approved responses that are legit. If you want them engaging with clients and stuff, it's a great way to do that. Working on some fun stuff. I'm hoping that I'll be able to talk about it at some point, but kind of branching out and maybe in a new direction, which is pretty exciting. But I wanted to mention, I love what G does, for with the kids menu side of things, and even thinking along the lines of how could you, like what Chris was talking about, how could you incorporate a moment while people are waiting for their food, etc., in restaurants, so that the child can give a gift to mom. So whether that's a coloring sheet that's a happy Mother's Day, or maybe it's I used to create these things for my mom. So just shout out to my own mom. She's amazing. My dad has a tendency to bring home strays, and I mean people, not just animals.
Fantastic.
And so
I didn't stray humans. That's fantastic.
our table was always filled. In fact, there were several years there that we ended up with, my parents had a dream of, my father's a pastor and stuff, but they had a dream of working with kids that are transitioning from high school to college and didn't really have places to go. And so mom would often have 15 around the table, 15 to 20 that she just have to whip up a meal for, and just figure it out. And she's an amazing cook as well. But I learned hospitality a lot from around her. And she's gotten used to saying her last thing, we'll pray over the food, and she'll say, if you don't see it, ask for it, because I may have forgotten to put it out. And so that's like her whole her whole shtick with that. But one thing I've learned from her is that there may not be the traditional mother situation, but even encouraging people to invite a person who's meant something to them in guidance, advice, life stuff, in either direction, whether it's a person who doesn't have children, but they look upon these kids that don't have somebody and loving them. But this idea of, so one thing I would do for my mom is I created these things called gathering stones. And we had little stones, and on the bottom of them, they would have questions like conversation starters. So even having something like that at the table that gets your mom telling stories about her growing up and what was her first job. And we always got some really fun, and we would theme them out to different holidays. So this is something you could repeat, not just for Mother's Day, but I would do it for 4th of July. Like, what's your favorite kind of firework? We would do it for Christmas. Have you ever had a white Christmas? What's your favorite Christmas carol? Thanksgiving, we would dig into other stuff too. And so just providing conversation at the table, I think, is a super fun way to do that. I went around the world and back again, but I'm going to hand it back to G because he's deciding who's next.
And, before you get into what next, I'm going to do a quick goodbye, make room for somebody else to jump in.
Thank you.
We can only do 10. Talk to you guys soon.
We'll see you in Chicago. Well, reminder, next Wednesday, our Rising Tide Live is all about Chicago. So if you're going to Chicago, if you want to go to Chicago, if you want to learn more about what's happening, please join us next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, Rising Tides Live. We will try to get as many people on stage as possible. Chris, thank you for your share. Thank you for your hospitality, for letting someone jump up on stage. And Mike, great work getting everyone rotated.
Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Chris.
And just because this is my first time on StreamYard, do I need to leave, or can Mike just put me in the audience and I can watch from there?
That was a great question. I think we can have 10 people backstage, but
Okay.
I will let
Mike backstage too. So I will leave and we'll figure it out on the other side, but I did want to ask that question.
Thank you. Yeah,
Hi,
Elizabeth,
guys.
we appreciate all the help, the tech help always. So we're all learning StreamYard together. Thank you. Go for it, G. You pick.
Yeah, before I give this to someone else, I just wanted to say that what Elizabeth was talking about is really interesting, because if there's something that allows kids to get closer to parents, and it's hard to understand exactly at what age this happens, but is the humanization of the parent, right? When they understand that you're also a human, that you also have your likes, your dislikes, your needs, your pains, and so doing something that could help the kids understand more the human side of mom, I think it's a pretty cool thing.
Before you share, we use KidsMenu at Cali Barbecue, and I just have to share how cool it is to watch my wife want to do the kids menu with Colleen, my son, because there's a different age bracket for Colleen's menu versus Mila's menu. So like what you've given, the tools that you've given a restaurant to be able to create that experience where we're not on our phones. We actually want to engage in the craft and the building and the thought process. It's a really beautiful thing. So keep up the great work, G. Go ahead.
Thank you. That's awesome to hear, because ultimately that's why we do it, to create better experiences, to create more connections between families. So great to hear. Thank you. I'll give the room to Michael Ungaro there. Hi, Michael.
Hello, thank you. It's weird how the crown just perfectly fit over my head. It wasn't planned.
I thought you were the king, so I figured let's do that.
So the discussion point is Mother's Day and hospitality, and a little background and introduction first. Michael Ungaro, San Pedro Fish Market, also owner, CEO, visionary of the restaurants, as well as our Kings of Fish web series, which is streaming on Amazon Prime, in addition to our newly launched podcast this week, thanks to Shawn's team. Mother's Day for us is crazy. I'm going to guess like everybody has their crazy Mother's Day story. I don't know how to describe ours except to send a video at some point that you guys could check out. What our Mother's Day looked like is people started to line up to get into our main restaurant, usually around 9 a.m. We'd have to close the doors. Now, for reference, we had 3,000 seats at the time, and they would fill up by 10 a.m. And so the line to get into the restaurant would be somewhere between 100 to 200 yards long. And then the parking lot would fill up. And then people would get, because the area wasn't designed for the volume we were pulling in, the Port of Los Angeles Police Department would then route people to satellite parking lots, and they would have to figure out how to walk to us. And I filmed this one time where I would follow these people and pushing strollers with their kids, wheelchairs with their grandparents, and even walkers sometimes, walking on an undefined path to then get, and when we tracked it, they were driving up to 100 miles, actually even farther. We had a lot of people coming from Phoenix and Las Vegas, which is a 5-hour drive for the day, just to hang out with us and go back. So they would have to make that drive, get pushed into this parking lot, walk to find us about a mile to a mile and a half, then stand in line in this 200-yard line for another hour to get in, and then another hour before they could actually get their food. Because of the way that our business was designed, was never designed to accommodate this pool. And where it really exploded was when we had done our social media stuff with the series, even just posting pictures of food and being interactive with people. We never did we never did much of a job in accommodating mothers. It's like we were just so busy trying to figure out how to accommodate the crowds that we couldn't figure out how to come out. Like, what are we going to buy 6,000 roses? Like, I didn't know. We couldn't figure out what to do except to try to keep people happy, get them in and out as quickly as we could, and not pressure them to leave. That was really the key, because when we started realizing how far they were driving, the last thing we wanted to do is try to push them to turn tables. What we also noticed was our alcohol sales on Father's Day. Mother's Day was higher than Father's Day. No, wait, other way around. I'm sorry. Father's Day was higher than Mother's Day because what we started to realize talking to people is a couple things. One, moms don't drink beer the same way dads do. Two, and as we started talking to customers, the kids that were coming to celebrate mom didn't want to get in trouble by drinking too much. So what we started to do is we started carrying slushy drinks and margaritas and sex on the beach. And we had these machines, like if you ever went to Chillers back in the 80s, which maybe nobody's ever heard of at this point, but it was more, we had these slushy machines so we could do sort of a mixed drink cocktail without having to have a full bar. That increased our sales significantly because it turned out that the female customer base was happier with that. So those are things that we figured out. There were increasing revenues for us, but it also created a happier and more satisfaction for the customer base. The other thing that we found by accident was we would keep wondering, it's weird, Mother's Day is super, super busy, but for some reason, May 10th, whether it's a couple days before or a couple days after, is busy too. And we weren't paying attention that in Mexico, because our customer base is primarily from Mexico, Mother's Day in Mexico is just as big. So we had to start to plan. Like, I'm thinking right now, actually, that's tomorrow. I'm wondering.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, I'm wondering if anybody in our team even marked that on.
I'm wondering the same thing. Steven, have we accounted for that? Good job.
Yeah. So we would get inundated with this unexpected May 10th crowd. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? It was like, oh my God, it's Mother's Day in Mexico. It's totally different. And now I'll share one last story. One thing that was interesting is during the pandemic, we're shut down. And we were trying to figure out how to use third-party to take care of our customers, but it's really not just the customers, but keep people working. So instead of this $50 tray, we shrank the price down to $20, $19.99 shrimp tray, which was shrimp, potatoes, veggies, garlic bread, and it was enough to feed a family of 4. And we pushed those out through social media. But when Mother's Day came up, we're trying to figure out what can we do. And so we had come up with a Mother's Day special that could be picked up, and it included a bottle of champagne. It included like a big tray of seafood. And we were lucky to have the local news. I think it was KTLA Channel 5 actually had me on live to talk about it, promote it. And we didn't think this through. It was like, well, how are we actually going to process the orders outside of third party? So we used one of the employees' cell phone numbers, thinking we'd be lucky if anybody places this order, if no one's leaving their house. And we had thousands and thousands of orders come in within literally minutes that we could barely keep up with. So it was a learning experience. And since then, as we've sort of slowly come back into normal operating over the years, and then now we're in a parking lot because of the eviction situation and having to move around with our main businesses. We actually got some time to think, plan, strategize, and during all those downtimes, I put different measures in place using an entrepreneur operating system and some other coaching methods to strengthen our team and really keep things more organized, which helped us get through the pandemic and the eviction situation. So now these teams are specifically our marketing team and operations team, which is really something we had. Everything sort of melded together and was a mess. Now that's very well defined. They put something together that I put in the chat, which is the Queen's tray. And we'll have a King's tray too, specifically for mothers. And it's just this massive meal that you can buy and treat your mother to and celebrate with her on Mother's Day in our location. So,
well, you sharing that story is a reminder. If anybody's watching this, if anyone's planning to go out on Mother's Day brunch, please have empathy for those in the hospitality business. We work very hard. I guarantee you there's not one restaurant owner, there's not one server, there's not one cook that wakes up on Mother's Day and goes, I want to ruin Mother's Day for as many people as possible. That is not our goal. Our goal is to make sure that every mom is happy, every mom has an incredible experience. But as we all know in the hospitality business, and I can tell you from being on the front lines of Cali Barbecue, like every family that comes in, they have their unique challenges and hopes and experiences of what is going to happen on this magical day. Some people haven't seen mom in a very long time. Some people are trying to make up with mom. Like, all we can do as a hospitality restaurant business is like do our best, prepare our best. And Mike, thank you for sharing those stories. It brings back, and even what Chris was talking about, do what you do best. Don't go out of your way. I mean, we've done it all on Mother's Day, and I'm very excited that the team is locked in to do what we do best on this Sunday. G, go ahead, pick our next guest.
I also wanted to add that it would be really hard to grab a restaurant that is not family friendly and transform it to family friendly for the one Mother's Day. Yes. This is something that you should consider if you own a restaurant or hospitality venue, that there's some things that you should really consider. For example, a place to put your strollers. Or, we made a video on this topic that we should share here. But if you're planning to try to make your restaurant a bit more family friendly, you should take a look at that. And it's great, Michael, what you shared, and Shawn also piggybacking on a little bit what you said about that moms should be embraced and pampered every day for all the things they do. But I was thinking maybe this is also something that could happen on Mother's Day, that for the moms that show up, you have this coupon or something that gives them another meal and a free something or a big discount on a different day. So now you're piggybacking off of that. There's people coming to your restaurant to get that thing, besides all the reasons that they would go, but it's a way to also increase your revenue forward and pamper them on a different day that isn't Mother's Day. So that's just an idea. So I'll go to Richard. Good to see you, man. You're muted.
You're muted. Still muted.
Should we?
Oh, there we go. He's live.
Yes.
Hey guys.
Live from Liverpool.
Oh no, don't say that. It's like so insulting. You know, I'm quite worried that you guys have kind of missed this event because Mother's Day was March the 30th, and you guys are like, were you planning for next year?
March 30th, really?
March 30th in the UK. And I thought the thing about the different date that Michael was talking about just amused me. It's like, you guys, you're a bit late.
Yes.
I think there's something really, I think what's really interesting about Mother's Day and Valentine's Day, it's one of those days where as a restaurant you can capture people. And I think what's really interesting was building on what G was saying is that if you just treat it as a one-off where you can make lots and lots of money, I think you've missed the point. If you've got bums on seats, you've got an opportunity to capture hearts and minds. So I think there's a little bit where I always think to myself, a mother is for life, not just a Mother's Day, like both as a human being, but also as a restaurant. I think if you've got people in the restaurant, how can you bring them back again? Now, too many people think, well, it's just about the food. And for me, it's not. It's about the experience, but also what's the invitation for them to come back? Because if you've got them, you've given them a great experience. We all know the hardest thing in business is winning new customers. And you've got people booking into your restaurant. So why are you treating it as a one and done? And I think there's that challenge to operators just to think about, okay, we've got people here. How can we not only give them a great meal, a great experience, but make sure they want to come back to us over and over again? It's so much bigger than the food. And I think we've all got this opportunity to get people in. How can we get them in again and again and again? So instead of thinking one and done, because that's bloody expensive and time consuming as a business and as a marketeer, how can you turn it from a one-off to 4 visits a year to 8 visits a year? And I think Mother's Day is a great way of capturing hearts and minds.
That is a great point. We're in a generational business, not a transactional business. And that was very well said, Richard. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, G.
Eric, welcome. Good to see you again.
Welcome back, Eric.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I've missed you. You're in my outdoor office today. It's so nice out here. I had to try it, but this will be the test of my Wi-Fi. So if this goes badly, I'll just
so far so good, man.
Okay, good. I'm not like many of you. I don't own a restaurant, but I have huge respect for the struggle that it takes on any holiday. And having been to restaurants at least a few times on Mother's Day, it's a hassle. You're right, Shawn. You know, nobody's going to wake up and go, I'm going to ruin this for everybody today. I'm going to get them. At least I hope they don't. But thank you to all of you who run restaurants, to everyone in the hospitality industry that's going to hear this and work on Mother's Day. You got a tough job. And for those of us that get there with small, screaming, fussing children and a frazzled mama who just wants it to be about her for at least 10 minutes, anything you do counts. Any little gift counts. Any notice of something that the family needs, something that the mother needs before she asks for it, before she has to flag down a server and say, hey, could you get me something? Jump with the refills. Just that alone would make my wife's day. And if I had to request anything, it would be don't give sugar without asking first. You know, everybody wants to be nice to the mama that's like, please, kid, sit down and be quiet. And like, oh, kid, here, have a cookie. No, that makes it worse. Don't do that. But I wish I could tell stories about the mothers in my life. I tried to get my wife to come on camera for this, but she was like, no, the kids are killing me today. I look like a hot mess. I'm not doing it. She's 37 and a half weeks pregnant. So I wanted her to just, stand right here and be like, hey, look, Charlie's coming soon. It might actually be on Mother's Day.
Congratulations.
That's thank you. I haven't told Charlie Eblin yet, but yeah, we're going with Charlie with this one.
Wow.
Anyway, I just wanted to get on and say thank you to all the mothers out there. Thank you to all the people that are serving the mothers out there. And for the mothers in my life, I mean, it's a highlight for me every day. We got 3.5 kids, and my wife is pretty frazzled, so it's constantly every day is Mother's Day for me. What can I do for her to make life easier? And on this one day a year that we really highlight moms, every little thing counts. Hold the door for them, pick up something off the floor that they drop, so that especially if they're pregnant, they don't have to reach for it. Those little things count. So thank you,
Eric,
everybody that's going to take care of a mom.
It's really interesting you're saying that, because you just reminded me. At the weekend, I was in London for my wife's birthday, and I let the hotel know beforehand. And we got there, and the room
Trying to
was
make you feel bad, Richard.
No. The room was covered in balloons. There was a cake in there, a message. And what's really interesting for me, I always say this: what are the other industries we can learn from? And I think there's something about really good hotels where they just know and they look after you, or whether it's on an airline. And we all know the good and the bad ones. We're not going to name them.
Spirit.
Southwest. But there are ones that are really exceptionally good. And if you've ever flown Virgin Atlantic and there's something going on, they'll make a fuss of you. And those little touches, whether it be from a luxury hotel or an airline, and you start thinking about what are those simple touches? And what Eric was talking about was so simple. Ask permission before you give the kids sugar and stuff like that. But what are those little touches that make an experience go from being an experience to being a memorable experience? And I think so often we look at people in our own industry, sod that, go and look at people that do great hospitality and go, what can we learn from them? And then how can we bring that thinking into our businesses? And Eric, you just made me think of that.
We need to make a bigger fuss. I agree. Make a bigger fuss on those special moments. That's great stuff, Richard.
Treat them like they're your mother. What would you do to your mom? You take care of her, or you're going to get it.
And there's this thing my wife usually says, and there's something about that. It's not about the activity that they may need to do, but the decisions that go around that activity, like what is for dinner, where do we go, what is so if you can, the days before Mother's Day, have all that figured out and planned out, and they don't have to take too many decisions outside of exactly what they want to eat and drink, then you'll be in a really good spot. But try not to have your wife decide what the place that you guys should go to on Mother's Day is, because it's more of a curse than a pamper, I would say.
That's fantastic. And shout out to Mike Ungaro for practicing hospitality with his own family on this show. For those that don't know, he went off camera so his wife and daughter could leave the house so that he can smoke his cigars. Well done, Mike. I'm bringing everyone behind the scenes, but that is a true man who practices what he preaches. Fantastic. And just a reminder, we are going to put YouTube links into the chats. Please follow Fish Factor. Please follow KidsMenus. Our team is doing some really good work with our partners, and we would love for you guys to subscribe to the shows, comment on the shows, any way that we can subscribe or comment on anything that anyone in this community is building. We are here to support one another. G, go ahead, pick somebody else.
Next we'll have Gavin.
Gavin, welcome back. What's up, Gavin?
I know. Thank you, guys. I'm Gavin. It's been a minute since I've been here. I feel like the last time I was on was around Christmas, telling you why the George C. Scott Christmas Carol is the best one. Which, Richard, I'm still going to quiz you to make sure you've seen it. I'm Gavin. So I work with Cali Barbecue Media as a podcast producer and video producer. I luckily get to work alongside G and create amazing KidsMenus videos for their company, and you know, I've learned so much working with them and how much thought should go into hospitality. And I think that's we were just hitting on it there about, you know, being thoughtful, and I'm blessed with a wife that pretty much lives by the motto of, you know, it's the thought that counts, and the execution, I may not always hit that, but the thoughtfulness, and G said it early on, like it starts in the morning. It starts how you wake up that Mother's Day. It starts, you know, from home. And then when you go out to the restaurant, that's where the restaurant can pick it up for you, and they can put that thought into it. I know that for us, we had a restaurant we went to for years on Mother's Day through my family and then through my wife's family as well. And then kind of over a period of a few years, there was certain things that happened where we thought, our needs aren't being met and they're not kind of anticipating what we were looking for. And that could be from the wait times outside where no one's even speaking to you to getting inside, and they're not even having everything that they used to have. And then we found a new restaurant a couple of years ago, and we were just stunned. They greeted my wife with a rose. Every mom there got a rose. There were so many different areas where they put a lot of thought into Mother's Day, and it made it feel like, hey, maybe they're going to be like this any day. It doesn't have to just be Mother's Day. Maybe we want to, come back there, and we did. And I think it was Richard that said, maybe it was Eric, that about repeat customers, and you can use that opportunity on Mother's Day to build repeat customers. And the more thought and welcoming attitude you have at your restaurant, that goes a long way. And with little kids, we have an 18-month-old. I know that the more needs that are met there, so that my wife doesn't have to worry about that, that's going to be better for everyone. So, a company like KidsMenus.com, they allow you to create your own placemat, activity placemat, and make it really engaging and create moments. That's another thing. I think we all know, moms, that it's the moments that matter a lot more. Another aspect of this restaurant we go to now, I'll shout them out, Sun Dried Tomato in San Juan Capistrano, California. They're terrific. I already got my reservation, so you can't take mine. But they have a photo they have a backdrop.
How did you book the reservation? What technology?
OpenTable.com, I think. Yeah.
Did you go directly to OpenTable, or did you go to their website?
I went to the website and then it directed me there.
Got it. Cool. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, they had a great, photo opportunity that, you could get, create those, moments. They'll take them there for you, or like us, we just took them with an iPhone. So that was really special. And so, yeah, I think, my what I've learned through the years is put the effort in, put the thought in, and people will notice. Also, I did want to mention that Richard said that Mother's Day is on March 30th in the UK, which is also my birthday. So if every day is Mother's Day, if I live in the UK, then every day is my birthday. So that he might have convinced me. So
fantastic. Thank you, Gavin. Welcome back. We appreciate you. G, pick somebody else.
Sounds good. Steven, Scuba Steve.
Barbecue Scuba Steve.
Sorry, I was trying to get back to my Stream Live or StreamYard page. My bad. What's going on, guys? Steven Swiderski, Cali Barbecue, Director of Events and Hospitality. Mother's Day. Yeah, that's a big holiday for us, especially Mexican Mother's Day that everyone somehow forgets except me. That was a nightmare. That was the nightmare night that we forgot about. Yeah, taking care of mothers, even if it's, every day is Mother's Day in my eyes, because your mom is the one that brought you into the world. And to me, she's the only one that can really take you out if you do something wrong. That's the mantra I live by. But especially on Mother's Day in a restaurant, you just have to give her a better experience. You gotta wait on her hand and foot, and that's just kind of what we push for, Mother's Day at Cali Barbecue, because we want to provide the best hospitality every day, but especially on Mother's Day. That's a big one for us.
Amazing. Thank you, Steve. G, I think we got Dean LeBay.
Yes, Dean, welcome.
Hey, G. Just want to jump on real quick. Mother's Day is such an important holiday because just what Scuba Steve said, she brought you into this world. I've been thinking here lately about Michael got off stage a while ago to say bye to his daughter and wife. One of the saddest days for me was that day when my daughter I didn't hear the pitter pat of little feet running through the house saying, "Daddy, hold me, hold me, hold me." Those are the moments in life that makes life worthwhile. And when you take your mother out to a restaurant, you want the best experience. And you're right, Shawn. Nobody wakes up wanting to run it, but mistakes happen, and it's the intention of knowing and honoring your mother. That's it. I just wanted to jump in, and as always, getting ready for Chicago, and hopefully I'll see most of you there. Thanks.
Appreciate you, Dean.
That's great, because this morning my wife and I were discussing, like, what do you want to do for her mom for Mother's Day? She goes, well, we can go here. We can go. You know what? How about if she just comes here to the house and I'll make breakfast? Because I don't need the anxiety of watching everybody else deal with what I know they're dealing with. She goes, oh, that's a nice idea. And I go, yeah, it's going to be calmer and easier.
Yeah, we're right there. We're right there with you.
And that's a very interesting topic, because mothers, as daughters, they still have to plan things for their own mothers. So if you take that planning even away from them, that's a really good way to start giving her a better Mother's Day. And you talked about anxiety, and that's something that I also wanted to bring into this, because it's definitely not about us, but it puts pressure on you as the person in charge of planning the right day, of like, okay, what am I gonna do? Is she gonna like it? How are the kids gonna behave? All these things. And usually having that kind of energy may not help the day. So the sooner you start planning that, the more you kind of prepare your kids for the day and say, okay, this day is about mom. This day, even maybe do a role playing thing where it's like, okay, for this day, you girls, I have two girls, you girls are the moms and she's the kid, and we're going to reverse the role. So you maybe understand a little bit what they go through on a normal day. So I think that's a really interesting thing to bring on what happens on the anxieties around Mother's Day, because the truth is if you come into it with your own anxieties and your own fears, you're already starting a little bit like, not in the best place. So try to think about her as your partner and as your wife, and something that you would do on a beautiful date, and the fact that it's the motherhood aspect of it almost is someone secondary. This is a person that you need to pamper, and as the person you love, there should be enough inspiration there to make it good.
Amazing. And just a reminder to anybody watching, listening, you can always replay these episodes on our Cali Barbecue Media YouTube channel. They're also published on our Digital Hospitality podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe to that show. We're going to go ahead and do tip, takeaway, homework assignment. Just a reminder, next Wednesday is the Chicago show. So if you're heading to Chicago, if you want to know where to go, what to do, who you should be meeting with, please join us next Wednesday. Before a lot of this community will be meeting in real life. We will be dark next Friday because most people will be at the show. So next Wednesday, one show. Let's go around. Tip, takeaway, homework assignment. Dean, start us off.
Just keep showing up, guys. We've got a great community. Don't give up, and support each other. Thanks.
Thank you. Mike Ungaro.
Yeah,
King Fish Factor.
I'll build on what Dean said. I'm going to be doing a presentation in June at a business conference that I've been part of for 20 some years. And it's about the power of building networks. And I was observing as an outsider, I've been thinking a lot about what are we going to talk about? How are we going to present it? And what occurred to me is the majority of the success that we've had, the big jumps in success we've had and able to survive in our business in the last 5 to 10, 15 years has mostly been from people that I've managed to meet outside the business, because it's so easy to be head down, butt up. Like you say, Shawn, like stand up and go to the conference. Yeah. We all work in our business, but we need to work on it. And you have to work on it by building your networks. And this, what you've created here, is such a fantastic I don't say like it's an arena really, or it's an arena to be. You could be in the stands and watch everybody else play, or you can get down on the arena and play yourself and be part of the game and build that network, build the brand, build your reputation, and it increases your capacity and capabilities to do things you couldn't do otherwise. And all that stuff comes to a head on busy days like Mother's Day, like Father's Day, like Easter, like these days, because if you don't build it, you crash and move into the next day. And before you know, 5 or 10 years have passed and you're wiped out going, what happened? Where'd all the time go? So thank you for putting this together, and it's an honor to be part of it.
Well, yeah, thank you to the community. If you guys don't show up, it would just be me talking to myself. So thank you for showing up. We appreciate it. It's always better when we have more voices up here on stage. So thank you guys for supporting it. Eric, go ahead. Tip, takeaway, homework assignment. Congratulations also to your wife.
Thank you.
And the entire family.
Thanks. That little guy is the reason that I will not be at NRA in Chicago. I'd like to go, but my wife's about to pop, and she's like, nope, there's no way you're leaving me. And I would agree. I don't want to miss that. So everybody have fun at NRA. Thank you for these shows. I've missed them. I've been detached from them for a while. Been a little busy, but getting back to it. And for Mother's Day, go hug your mom. And if you can't hug your mom, do something nice for somebody else. Find another mother and do something nice for her, because everybody needs it.
Great. And G, thank you for co-hosting. What's your parting thoughts, takeaways?
My parting thoughts are, if you still don't have anything to do for Mother's Day, get yourself to KidsMenus.com. We have a lot of stuff. Think about who she is, the things she likes. You can do trivia, you can do crossword puzzles, you can do things for just the kids. There's everything there, but I think that it's important in this Mother's Day to think about her as a human with her interests, and not just as a mom, and staying at the normal things that you would do to replace what mothers do, but make her feel like loved and smart and beautiful, and put yourself out there.
Well, thank you, G. Thank you to the entire community, and thank you to Mike producing in the back of the scenes. We appreciate it. We'll catch you guys next week. Stay curious, get involved, and don't be afraid to ask for help. We'll catch you guys next week.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
See you guys later.